on the intake manifold and actually on the Welcome back guys to another video, and in this video we're tuning this BMW M2 with a hybrid turbo and meth injection. So this BMW M2 N55 model 2017 pre-LCI has already been built and tuned somewhere else. The customer isn't happy. It's got a full intake system, intercooler, XDI high pressure fuel pump and a TTE 550 hybrid turbo. So the car has been tuned somewhere else with this hybrid turbo setup. It's apparently 500 horsepower and 800 newton meters of torque. So we'll get it on the dyno and run it as it is before we start our work. When we say our work, we are fitting meth injection to this and also reverting the ECU back to complete standard so that we can build up our tune too. So as with all our meth installation, we usually fit them on the trim on the passenger side itself, but this has got a nice fancy Alcantara M Performance kit, so we're going to actually put it in the glove box. If you haven't seen our other installation videos, we've done loads of N55 meth integration. I'll leave a link up there to a couple of videos for you guys to go and see. But yeah, let's get it on the dyno, let's run it as a base and see what it runs. So just ran it up on the dyno on the previous tune and it's ran 416 horsepower, 688 newton meters of torque. No idea where the other 85 horsepower have gone, but nonetheless the car's with us now. What we'll do, we'll put it back to complete standard on the ECU. We'll fit the meth injection kit, start building it up and then add the meth spray slowly. So the meth injection has just been fitted, but we're not going to turn it on yet. First, we're going to get a nice base run at about 1.2, 1.3 bar of boost. We are going to put the 3.5 bar map sensor on as well from the N20 so that we can regulate boost before throttle body as well and see what we can achieve today. This is a beautifully spec car. If you have a look at the bucket seats, absolutely immense. It's got the LED steering wheel as well, which is great because you can keep an eye on cooling temperatures and oil temperatures on the steering wheel itself. But yeah, we've just loaded our base calibration on there, so let's see what we can achieve. So we just targeted 1.4 bar of boost and the car is constantly over boosting. I have put a boost limiter in there at 1.8 bar and the car is chucking in 1.9 bar, and that's purely down to the hybrid turbo and the way it's been fitted and set up on the actuator. If it's too tight, any kind of duty cycle can produce more boost than what it's worth. So yeah, we're going to have to manually adjust the wastegate, adjust the calibration as well, and see if we can get a nice smooth curve before we add any boost and fuel. So the car's just hit 1.5 bar of boost and I've actually tapered it off at the red line because the car's pulling a lot of time in already. We might have to change the spark plugs on this. The customer did say it had some 97506, but we'll stick a fresh set. It has made 453 brake horsepower, 680 newton meters of torque, but power is tailing off at about 5,500 RPM. So we'll change the plugs over, add a bit more boost and see what we get. So that's 1.7 bar of boost, and we're at 462 brake horsepower, 701 newton meters of torque. And this is gonna be probably the limit of the turbocharger on 99 run. Typically on a 550 turbo, any hybrid turbo of this size, we usually see about 500 brake horsepower at 1.7 bar before we add any meth, but we are knock limited at the moment. We're seeing 8 degrees of ignition timing and no more at that boost level. So we're going to turn on the meth integration now. It is a charge pipe meth, so it can sometimes give a false positive, but I'm going to utilize the boost control, closed loop control of the BMW, so it does close the throttle body if it overshoots dramatically. We will monitor the boost on the actual VC50 as well, so we can make sure it's not over boosting too much and causing it to lean out. So yeah, dial this in and see what we can achieve with this setup today. So that is the final results, 1.8 bar of boost with meth integration. We're at 503 brake horsepower, 778 newton meters of torque, which is absolute savage. If I overlay the graph in the video, you'll see the delta gain in comparison to the previous tune that was on there, and I think this is going to be the limitation of the turbocharger itself. Obviously a bigger turbo would help a bit more at the peak, but nonetheless with this setup, 503 brake horsepower is about right for what it should be. So yeah, let's take it for a drive. So just back from the road test, the hybrid turbo in itself is a great modification. It spools up really quick in comparison to like our big boost turbo, which is about 600 horsepower. It has a lot more lag, but nonetheless, it's a great package to have. All cars we test on the dyno and data log as much as we can, and then test on the road as well. We just make sure that the data on the road represents what we're doing on the dyno. If there's anything off, these cars are very load dependent, so when you do create an uphill or a downhill, the turbo boost target does change, so we need to monitor that, and we do that via road test, making sure it mimics everything that we do on the dyno. Overall, I'm very happy with the car. In all honesty, we could take it a bit more, but the car has to be reliable and back to back, and I think that's what the customer wants, a nice reliable 500 horsepower with meth integration for back to back consistency. So a bit of a long-winded process on this car. Obviously it was tuned somewhere else and built somewhere else as well, so we had to factor that into the calibration itself. We could take this car a bit further, but nonetheless it's a savage result. 500 horsepower and 780 newton meters translate to a really quick car on the road. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.